Hey, I'm Lana from Lana Gloschat Art, and in this video, we'll be unboxing the March 2025 Sketchbox. This is a true mixed media box with some fun supplies in a variety of rich brown tones. Are you ready to check it out? Let's go. The surface in this month's box is the Sketchbox Signature Cream Toned Paper. This 4x4 inch pad is made up of absorbent paper that is perfect for mixed media. Next, we have a tube of the Rockwell Coffee watercolor in Americano. This is crafted from genuine coffee, which provides us with a rich, deep color and also a nice smell. Next, we have the Sketchbox Signature Quill Brush Size 2. This fluffy brush can hold a lot of water, allowing you to apply lots of color all at once, but it still comes to a tight point, so you have the option to create dynamic marks and fine details. This quill brush works best when it is loaded with water. So rather than using your Rockwell watercolor right out of the tube, mix it up with a bit of water first. Here I am swatching the Americana. Once you've swatched your colors, play around with a variety of different marks you can make with your brush. You can draw with the side, the tip, and play around with different pressures to achieve a variety of different marks. Next, we have the 4B Bear Claw Koala Tools pencil. This pencil is going to be great for sketching in your concepts before you commit them to watercolor. Also, this is a very soft lead, so it's going to help you add more value to your piece if you want to punch the darks a little darker. The prompt for this month is latte, and in preparation for drawing a coffee cup, I'm going to warm up with some ellipses. My best tip for drawing ellipses is to draw from the arm and the shoulder rather than just the fingers. So you can't see this on screen, but I'm moving my whole arm as I draw the ellipse, and I'm drawing over and over several times until I feel confident with the shape. Then I commit with more pressure. Now let's start drawing the latte. Using the 4B pencil and very light pressure, I'm sketching in ellipses first. I use one for the top of the cup, the bottom of the cup, and the saucer underneath. And I make sure that all these ellipses are on point and that they're in the right place before I start adding in more detail, like the handle of the cup. Then once I have the general shape of the coffee cup laid out, I begin coming in with more pressure and committing the shapes I've created with more confidence. The next material in this box is the Copic Multiliner in brown. This liner is waterproof, so it can be used before you apply your watercolor. The 0.1 millimeter nib on this pen is very precise, so rather than using it to lay in big areas of dark color, reserve that for your watercolor and instead use this for fine detail and texture. Here I am lightening up my pencil sketch and then coming in over the top with my multiliner. Coming in over the top of my pencil sketch with my multiliner gives me the opportunity to refine my ellipses, to add emphasis to different parts of the drawing, and to even add some texture. Hatching is a great technique to add a little bit of value and texture, and it can help you hide mistakes if your line wanders off of the initial path. Once I am done with the Copic multiliner, I come in over the top with a light wash of Americano. I'm using a medium amount of water here and making sure that it's completely dry before I come in with darker darks. Here, my washes are less diluted and I'm paying more attention to my edge work. I'm really emphasizing the darkest darks here and making sure that I push the value in the background as deep as I need it. Then I can come in with some more diluted washes to add more depth and dimension to the coffee in the cup and the cup itself. No need to reserve any of the lights in this piece because I will be adding them back in with the Derwent drawing pencil in wheat. The Derwent drawing pencils are one of my all-time favorite pencil lines. They are thick, creamy, and waxy and lay down opaque color. For the lightest lights, press really hard and overlap your pencil. And then for those halftones, apply less pressure and glaze the pencil over the toned surface. A fun warm-up with this pencil is to create your own latte art over a wash with the Americano. I focus on hearts and partial ellipses as I build up this design, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a fun way to play around before we come back to our latte drawing and add in those lighter values. When you come back to your latte, build your lights up slowly because once they're there, they're fairly permanent, but you have a wide range of values that you can apply with the Derwent drawing pencil. Another thing I want you to keep in mind are those ellipses and the way that your arm moved as you built them up. Continue that rounded form as you build up the volume on the coffee cup. Then, once everything is feeling really good and three-dimensional, you can come in with more pressure and really make those lighter values pop. The last material in our box is the Rembrandt Titanium White watercolor. This transparent watercolor can be mixed into the Rockwell watercolor to create some lighter tints. Here I am adding some water and just the tiniest bit of Americano to my titanium white. This allows me to move the white around on the paper and to use the brush the way it was meant to. Then for a darker tint, I just add a little more Americano. I can continue playing around with these ratios to achieve a wide variety of values. Now let's use all of our materials together to draw this cat. I'm using the 4B pencil with very light pressure and just figuring out where all of the features are and what the proportions are. Once I feel pretty solid about these, I switch over to my Copic multiliner and begin adding in the texture and the deeper darks. I'm not outlining any of the features all the way around. That would make it look like a coloring book. Instead, I focus on the darkest areas and lay down some heavy weight there, and then move around the drawing, leaving some areas open and some lines unfinished. Once I've created some nice texture in my Copic multiliner sketch, I come in with a light wash of the Americano, and then I drop in some more concentrated paint so that I get some more variety in the tones of the paper. When I come over the top of my washes with my Derwent drawing colored pencil, a darker wash helps this pencil show up more, and I love having some texture to respond to in the background. So don't hesitate to get fun and playful with your washes. Here I'm coming through and looking closely at my photo reference as I mimic the texture in the fur. I don't have to draw every single hair, but I do want to make sure that my hairs are moving in the right direction and that I have my values accurate. When you are working with values in a way that's backwards to what you're used to, lights on top of a dark paper, you want to make sure that you build them up slowly. So start with a light transparent layer of color and not putting quite as much pressure into your pencil for those areas that are your midtones. Then build up slowly to those brightest whites as you add more pressure and more layers. When it comes to the whiskers, I want a precise line, so I pull it really quick and I don't second guess it. Whatever I end up with is what I keep. Once I have the fur mapped in with my Derwent drawing pencil, I come back in with my 4B pencil, adding a little bit more depth to the shadows on the right and pushing the background back just a little bit more on the left. Then I continue to bounce back and forth between my Copic multiliner and my Derwent drawing pencil. I continue to tweak and refine until I get the cat the way I want, including using some of that Rembrandt white mixed with some of the Americano to add a little bit more texture and dimension to the fur. And now this piece is complete. I hope you learned a ton about rendering form and texture with this mixed media box, and we can't wait to see what you create. So be sure to use the hashtag SketchboxMarch when you post your work online. For more unboxing videos and tutorials, you can check out our YouTube page where you can like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.